Hey, how's it going? It's Walsh here, sick as always. So today I am going to be showing you my BoneShatter League starter character. In the background, you're going to see a tier 15 map, I think it was, with 50% more life, vulnerability, turbo, and 100% fizz is extra fire. So in a second, you're going to see a chart that I made for the build, just to give you a quick rundown. So the clear speed in maps is about a 7 out of 10. It's really fast, it's really solid, but it's nothing compared to a spellcaster, obviously. It is true melee, and, you know, whatever comes with that. You're not going to compete with a spellcaster, let's just be real. In terms of survivability, this build is thick. Like, this is a really hard map. I got Awakener in here and everything. Everybody's all angry. And this is not even a really optimized character. I have 7 or 6 characters this league. So my currency's been spread pretty thin. This character is still using some pretty bad gear. Has an insane weapon though. And bossing is pretty slow. I'm not gonna lie. Until you go crit and you get like strength stacking or something like that, your damage is not gonna be amazing against bosses like Awaken Rate and Maven. So this is actually my first ever like official guide that I'm ever making. I've made guides for like friends and stuff in the past, like all the time, pretty much, like every league. Like my friends and guildmates come in, I make them builds and whatnot. So if there's anything that you would like me to elaborate more on or anything like that, please let me know. Like I said, I'm pretty inexperienced. Anyway, let's look at levels 1 through 40. So honestly, if you're on softcore, SSF even doesn't matter as long as you're on softcore. You can skip getting Heart of the Warrior and just rush up. You know, grab Resolute Technique, level up with Shattering Steel, and I would do if you're like I said, if you're on softcore. I'm going to assume throughout this entire video you're on softcore SSF. So everything I say is with that in mind. So if you're ever wondering, well, oh, why aren't I using this or why aren't I taking that? It's probably that reason. And I'm pretty unlucky, so I don't expect to get good uniques or anything like that. So anyway, for your first lab, take Unstoppable. It makes leveling really nice. You don't have to worry about stun. You don't have to worry about freeze. You get to just zoom through the maps. Like I said, you're gonna rush up here, grab Resolute Technique, grab the mace stuff, get the crush enemies, come down here, Spine Crusher. So there's two types of Bone Shatter players. I mean, obviously there's more, but there's like two main types. Either one, you go axes and you go crazy DPS for bosses because you know axes do a ton of damage, or you go maces which do good damage. You know, they don't have crazy stuff like axes do, but you get the stun. Now, what's cool about stun for Bone Shatter is the stun actually gives you AoE clear. So the more stun duration you have, the bigger pop you're going to get when you kill mobs. So let's talk about, you're getting close to Cruel Lab. I'm assuming that you leveled with Bone Shatter after your first lab, because that's what I usually do. I'm going to tell you right now, it is not the most efficient way. It is not the fastest way to do it. Shattering Steel is insanely powerful, and you can level probably all the way to, Kitava if you want using Shattering Steel, but I just love Bone Shatter. It's a fun skill. So anyway, after you do your first lab, and let's say I'm gonna say like the start of Act 5 or halfway through Act 5, I'd recommend you come over here, get Crimson Dance, take Bloodletting, and have damage over time multiplier for endurance charges. Because at this point, you should have Call to Arms and be using Enduring Cry, which, by the way, you drop Enduring Cry once you get your second lab, but we'll talk about that later. So the bleeding thing, it's hard to explain until you play it. It will give you some decent boss DPS, but don't expect it to be a massive boost. POB makes it look like, dang, it's giving you like double damage, triple damage. It's really not that crazy. It's pretty nice though, but you will want to transition out of it. Anyway, back to the Ascendancy. Once you get this one, the Unflinching, you basically always have endurance charges, and then you can switch over and use Ancestral Cry, which will make your clear speed really nice. All right, let's say you're like, I don't know, 75, 80, whatever. We're going to say 80 because that's what this is. You've killed Kitava. For your third lab, I would recommend you take Unbreakable. It makes you so tanky and gives you so much life regen. Now, Unrelenting is really nice for the Chaos Res, especially for fighting the Huntsman early on. But Unbreakable is just so nice. It's just going to feel so good while doing early maps. Now, you're going to get your Fortify Mastery, so you always fortify. And, you get a bunch of fortification anyway. So, get some more damage, get some more stun. So, you're going to get more stun and increased stun duration. And you might think it's kind of a waste because it does basically nothing to end game bosses, like literally nothing. But when you're mapping, it's gonna make your clear speed feel so nice. Trust me, it is so worth it. Like I said, you can absolutely go axes if you want to, but I like doing maces, so in my guide I'm going to be showing maces. But axes absolutely will work. Come over here, get more two-handed stuff, more damage, and you should be good to go. You should be able to fly all the way up to red maps if you get a 5 link. So let's talk about endgame. So you're like 90 something right now. You get some decent gear. You might have switched over to Blood Magic and Mortal Conviction. Um, it saves you some skill gems, like you don't have to use life taps. You don't have to worry about mana. You don't have to worry about a bunch of stuff. You can also go Petrified Blood if you want to, but honestly, I don't bother. I'm so tanky. Like it's fine. You know, it'll give you some damage and whatnot, but it's not that crazy. So I would really recommend if you're gonna be using Bone Shatter as your main, like, when I say main character, I mean like the first week or so of the league where you just spend like all of your time farming high tier mass with your best character. If you're gonna do that, I would strongly recommend you start farming for strength gear because the strength jug is insane. Like you just take undeniable and you already almost have a 100% chance to hit, and then you just get free attack speed from accuracy. It's so nice. This is definitely what you're going to want to be when you're done the game. So this character's level 95 with no gear on, but once you put these 3 uniques and just nothing else, like, the character is just so powerful. Like, compared to the normal Jug, I know the damage doesn't look crazy, but, like, there's no gear on. Like, my strength is 700 with just these 3 uniques. Like, you're going to want 50 strength on, like, your belt, your rings, whatever you can get it on. And this is what I would say is the final result of the build. I have played this build on, I almost said standard, but Trade League, last league, and it was disgusting. Nothing could kill me. I face tanked basically everything, and I blew up all the content in the game. So if you made it this
I
far
cannot
into the
do
guide, I
this
just
yet.
want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. So I'm just going to be putting in a full map video at the end of this, just so you can get a real honest look at the build. Just remember, this character hasn't had a gear upgrade in like 5 or 6 days, I think, actually. I really like leveling a bunch of characters and just, switching between them. But this is Awakener 8 and everything like that. Character's still strong, still fun. I highly recommend you play Bone Shatter. It's a really great skill. And thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy.
Fight for survival. Atrophy flesh. Outrun this. Double attack.
cannot do this yet.